All right, everybody, let's get this party started. I know there's a few people still joining us, but we're going to go ahead and move forward. I'm getting a few people saying, I can't get on. It's all about knowing the links. And don't they feel foolish not being here when other people are here? Let's go ahead and get started. I truly am excited about today's meeting, and it won't be a very long one because we're going to go over some important accountability principles, and I'm really looking forward to engaging and teaching and training on this. But this is the fourth month of the year, and in the Champion Circle curriculum, we always cover the various steps to riches. And this month, we're talking about the principle of specialized knowledge. And one of my favorite pieces about specialized knowledge is that it is the way that you accumulate wealth by knowing and diving into what you know. Too many of us are becoming jacks of all trades. And I know that there's a whole debate on what that actually means. But when you have a specialized knowledge in something, you truly can achieve great things. Before we jump into the training, let me just cover some house rules, some housekeeping items, and a few other things too. As those live here in the audience, welcome, and I appreciate the dancing prior to the meeting. But I also want to welcome those watching the recording of this as well. We've got a bit of a membership that watches the recordings rather than attending live. But just so you guys know, Champion Circle is a dedicated association to developing leaders. We focus on helping the struggling, the frustrated, and those various entrepreneurs and business owners who just want to take the business to the next level. And we focus on personal development as a means and a way to accelerate your results in both your life and your business. This comes by accountability, by surrounding yourself with the right people, and for taking on things that you were afraid to do before, but you're tackling your fears. That's stuff we help our members with. And if you are just visiting as a guest today, we invite you to join us. I'm going to get rid of the sales pitch and the information right up front so we can dive into some really good stuff. Champion Circle is a membership-based organization, which means we have members paying for this information, and they're coming to our meetings, and they're attending our events, and they're going to so many things and going to many lengths to achieve their goals. We invite you to join us too, and you can learn more about our membership packages by going to mychampioncircle.com. And that will take you to one of our landing pages where you can learn more and explore, or book a call with someone from our team to learn more as well. Various packages include our own personal and professional accountability package, which includes a lot of one-on-one coaching and follow-up between you and an accountability partner. Also, we offer executive accountability, which allows you more one-on-one coaching and opportunities to achieve your goals. We also have communities such as our Play to Connect community, who gets together all over the country to play games, do recreational events, and to have fun together while they network and learn. And then also we have mastermind groups that meet in the form of chapters. These chapters get together on a monthly basis. They learn, they grow together, and they are fantastic. We invite you to participate in any but all of them as well. All right, enough of all that. And again, this is a general webinar recording. I'm going to remain on Spotlight for the majority of this. If you're in the gallery, feel free to just stay muted, take notes, do what you can to participate through the chat section as well. And we invite all kinds of questions and so much more. But let's dive in. I want to welcome each of you and say thank you for joining us. Now, you're probably asking, like, what does specialized knowledge have to do with the accumulation of wealth? Well, everything. I mean, if you've ever read the book Outliers, you would know that Malcolm Gladwell talks about how someone, or anyone who focuses on one specific particular interest and works on that from either a younger age or at any age and gives it a amount of time and dedication, they too can achieve the level of achievement that they want. That comes from the practice and the dedication and the brilliance that goes into repetition. I'm going to take one quick pause for a second. Somebody was asking about a link. I'm going to post that in there They're bugging me, so I wanted to make sure they know it. There we go. Okay. You guys ever seen a Mad John? I don't think there's such thing in the world as a Mad John. Long story short, though, is that when you take a particular item, knowledge or any dedication, and you focus on that thing, over time, you will get better at it. And not only will you get better at it, but you might even call yourself a pro or a professional or proficiency in that particular study. And there are all types of things like you've probably heard about the 10,000 hour rule. Okay. That is when the Beatles became the Beatles. That's when NHL players became the best and the best. That's when so many people, including tech coders and developers, have put so much time and practice into doing what they're doing. They could do it with their eyes closed, hands tied behind their back, and using nothing but their feet. Like, it is that good. And most of us have dedicated our lives to some sort of profession using a particular group of skill sets. I mean, there's a reason why you've been hired. There's a reason why you've received clients. There's a reason why people find value in you enough to pay you money to do something. That is a particular skill set. So tonight I want to talk about what it takes to achieve goals through your specialized knowledge and how that leads to the accumulation of wealth. First of all, I want to share just real quick, here at Champion Circle, we have our own accountability program. As an accountability coach for 7 years, I have helped and facilitated over thousands of communications and conversations and meetings and client meetings with people who are trying to achieve their goals. And at one point, this particular method was so successful that people were achieving their goals at a 90%. What that means is at 90%, they were achieving everything they set their minds to, everything they put a goal towards, or anything that they were working on. That's pretty impressive. And you're probably wondering, was that at the beginning, John, when there were only like 3 people? No, that was when we had hundreds of clients that we were working with. And out of the hundreds of clients, each one was working on a particular daily schedule, habits, and weekly goals. By reporting those goals, we found out very quickly what was working and what wasn't working. As a result of the measurement tool, we would take them into conversations that led to identifying what it was that they actually needed to do to achieve their goals. Now, this study became incredibly successful. We had a ton more clients that came on. And of course, when the numbers grow, so do the percentages, but they flipped upside down because you are working with more and more people. So let me ask you this question though. If you could achieve, if it was basically a guarantee that you were 90% sure that you were going to achieve the goals you set, how big or small would you set your goals? If you were guaranteed a 90% success rate, what types of goals would you set, big or small? Let me know what you think by typing in the chat section whether you would set bigger goals or smaller goals if you were guaranteed a 90% success rate. Let me know in the chat what you guys are thinking. Looking for a few chats here. Awesome, awesome. Here they come. Bigger and bigger. I love it. Huge. I love that too. Awesome, guys. Thank you for your comments. I believe it. And that's something that we would approach each one of these individuals. We would say, holy cow, did you recognize that last week you hit 95% of the goals that you set for yourself? If that's the case, why are you playing so small? Why are you playing so small? Take a bigger leap. Go with what you know and trust yourself. That is a principle of specialized knowledge that I think we all forget, because a lot of us feel the necessity, the need, and even the desire to learn more about things that we don't already know so that we can find a wider range of information to make us more valuable, and in that value, a return on investment. I can promise you that education is so important, incredibly vital to your growth as an entrepreneur, business owner, or human being. But I will promise you as well that everything that you already need is already inside you. It's up here, it's in here, it's everything you have. Now, again, with guidance, with help, you will be able to achieve what you're working towards. Let me briefly cover the irrefutable laws of high performance. And these are 4 laws that I created as an accountability specialist. And I learned that these things will help you achieve your goals, accelerate the results, and continue to keep you on that path so that the snowball going down the mountain becomes an avalanche of success rather than a small but yet limited amount of achievement. Okay. And what's important for you to understand is that everyone is different, no matter what your industry, no matter what background you have, and even your upbringing. I recognize that. But again, if you just trust that if somebody is getting a 90% or more success rate at what they're doing, boy, I'm signing up for that. I am getting involved. And a lot of it has to do with these 4 laws. Let me briefly cover them. And by the way, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a PDF copy of my book, and it is an excerpt from the Mastermind Memo, and it goes over the details of the irrefutable laws of high performance. So stick around to the end. You'll get an ebook out of this. There's workshop pages in there that will help you to accelerate your results. Now, let's move on. First, law number 1, in accordance with accountability, you need to create what do we call this? A personal accountability system. Okay, what are accountability systems? Well, let's define the word integrity. Integrity is usually defined by what people say as what you do or how you act or what you say when no one is looking. Am I right? I mean, that's what we were taught in probably grade school or primary or even just in our little preschool groups. Like, this is basic stuff. But integrity is what you do when no one's watching. And I take that a step further, because who cares who's watching? Who cares what's going on? How about reminder that there's always someone watching? And whether you are a religious person, a believer or not, there's always someone watching. And without that coming across as creepy, think of it in terms of yourself. Aren't you always present with yourself? So rather than focusing on what other people might see had they observed you in private, observe yourself in private. And that's the beginning of an accountability system. So personal accountability starts with integrity. What you do is what you promised yourself you would do. What you say is what you're going to keep your word to. And how you act is exactly the way you behave. One of the coaching tactics we use to help people understand this process is we teach you to repeat the phrase often, and you put yourself in the third person. For example, John is the kind of person who, fill in the blank. Example, John is the kind of person who returns phone calls promptly. John is the kind of person who compliments everyone he sees. John is the kind of person who gives everything his all and never settles for mediocrity. These phrases are powerful statements that help you believe in yourself as if you were watching. And that's an important principle. Okay, that's law number 1. Law number 2, moving on. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. I'll address them. And if anyone wants to take notes or wants to just tweet along while we're saying these things, grab some of the sound bites. That's helpful. So please take them. Please take some time to embrace the chats and believe in connecting with everyone else here. And if you're not watching this live, but you're watching the recording, there will be a chat file where you can learn more about what we're doing and so forth. Moving on, number 2. Law number 2. Again, this is all about accountability. You need an accountability partner. And I'm going to stress partner. You need a partner. And a partner means this is a two-way street. This is not a one-way road, okay? We're not driving on a one-way street. This is 2 lanes. And a partner is somebody who gives and takes, not just a taker. not just a giver and a taker. Reciprocity. There is a circle of reciprocity. This person has goals too. This person believes in your goals, and they also know that you appreciate and respect their goals. This person's going to call you up and say, I did it. Did you do it too? These are the kinds of people you need to surround yourself. You need to establish an accountability partner as soon as humanly possible, but wait till the end because I'm going to give you a free ebook and this is important. So take notes. All right, I got Ian to smile. All right, second of all is an accountability partner is going to help you feel motivated by association. Motivation internally is where we go back to integrity, but motivation by association is what drives you to that next degree. If we were putting our lives into the hands of an automated or a manual vehicle, okay, automation and creating that system of accountability is the first gear. That's how you get going. But moving into second gear, you need an accountability partner. All right, law number 3, and we're going to breeze right through these next 2 because they are extremely important, but I want to get to something really cool. All right, law number 3 is that you need a coach. You need mentorship. You need leadership. I'm going to quote my favorite villain of all time. His name is Loki from the Avengers series. If you're familiar, he follows into a room and presents himself in front of a group of people who are about to take a ship. And he says, you are in dire need of leadership. And I'm not saying this in a culty way. I am saying this as you need somebody who is going and has gone where you have gone, or you need someone who can give you a solid, calculated, a presentable plan to get you where you want to go. Okay. It's interesting. A lot of people take advice from the wrong people. A lot of people are getting their advice from news channels, social media, and things that they have not invested in. And though you might be able to find great education and plenty of awesome attitudes in social media, I can promise you, but they are merely touching the surface in what they can help you with. A personalized coach, trainer, mentor, somebody who knows how to get you there, that's what you need. And I highly, highly recommend that you find yourself a coach. And by the way, I can lead you down that path through our accountability system, which I'm going to walk you through in just a minute. All right, number 4 is you need to associate with high performance communities. High performance communities include accountability groups, recreational groups, mastermind groups, pods. I don't know what the other words right off the top of my head. Just any community where you can surround yourself with not only high achievers, but high performers, high resulters, okay? These are the people who are actually achieving. And these groups are easy to find, I promise you. You do not have to go far and long and wide to figure out where these groups are. You can surround yourself with champions at Champion Circle. You can surround yourself with expert CEOs at CEO Space. You can go to Vistage and you can surround yourself with incredible business owners doing exactly what you're doing under the leadership and direction of a curriculum, just like we do. So there are plenty of groups, plenty of communities, but by the way, one of the most powerful groups that I have ever discovered, and the one that I've completely flipped my career upside down in order to dedicate my life to, is the teaching of the methodologies that are masterminds. You will find that in chapter 10 here in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, written in 1937. This method is one of the most powerful methods to achieving goals. And after 7,000 plus hours of studying, facilitating, practicing, and participating in masterminds myself as one of the top global mastermind leaders in the world, I can promise you that when you work the mastermind the way it's supposed to be done, when you give of yourself first rather than being a taker, and you dive into this methodology, not only will your achievements accelerate, but exponentially you will be able to find results greater than before. I have seen many people wander in and wander out of masterminds, not ready to commit to the process, not giving in fully to its methodology. And I can promise you, they have left on the table the results that they were able to achieve versus what they're currently achieving. And I say that proudly and confidently. And that might sting for some people listening to this. And I can promise you, it's going to always be there. Come back to the boardroom table where your dreams, your goals, and everything you're working on are ready for you to start playing again. Quit playing small, play big. Mastermind groups are the fastest way to achieving those things. And one of the secrets I teach is a mastermind group is the fastest way because it incorporates personal accountability. It requires accountability partnerships. It includes mentorship, and it also includes the group accountability and high performance communities that are required to accelerate and to implement these 4 irrefutable laws of high performance. And I have studied high performance for a very long time. I have used what I know to turn average athletes into elite top performing athletes. From high school to college, I have seen it. I currently have one athlete competing and working their way towards the Olympic trials as we speak. And they were just an average Joe or Jane that didn't see their full potential until they put this to work. Now, that's physical. Let's talk about business. And I am excited because today you are going to learn a little bit about how we operate at Champion Circle. And let me just show you an example. But for those who have just joined or will join or have been members for a while, you can understand that there is a process to our accountability system. And this is the simplified version of the massive, massive study and practice that has gone into this. Number one is that you need to understand that there is habits, behaviors. You need to be habitually committed to achieving certain things on certain days in a certain time period in order to achieve what you want in the long run. Let me tell you an example. I want to make $20,000 by selling my new software that auto generates content for social media, and businesses use this to create an awareness and build communities online. Okay, that's one of my businesses. It's a great example, but I want to generate $20,000. Well, first of all, that's my goal. 20,000. What's the sales of my software and our coaching and onboarding, right? But I'm not just going to say $20,000. That's it. That's my goal. I'm missing something, and you guys could probably guess. If you put it in the chat, let me know. But you are missing a timeline. And I have statistically found that the shorter your timeline for your goal, the faster you will achieve it. And it's not just that you will achieve it up until the last and final minute. It's that you might actually achieve it faster because you've put an entirely new focus on your goals. Now, when you put a shorter timeline on your goals, especially the big ones, you will personally have a lot more success than you would have if you made it a 3 to 5 year goal. You've probably heard the quote, shoot for the moon. And if you miss, at least you'll be amongst the stars. And that is true in this aspect. But there's more to it. It's more complex than that. Because if you set your sights big, not only are you achieving more, but you're working in a direction to achieve great things. What's important is that you understand that if you do not even get close into proximity of your goal, it means that you needed somewhere along the line to have evaluated your performance, understanding where it relates to the achievement of your goal, and focusing on the overall outcome, which is your end result. When I train my athletes, we start with the end in mind. You've probably heard that from a famous book, okay? Starting with the end in mind. I had a girl I coached, she wanted to be a champion. And we looked at champion, what that meant, what it looked like, what it required. And then we reverse engineered that by understanding what do champions do every single day to become champions. And lo and behold, after identifying those strategies, overcoming any challenges, correcting any failures, and focusing on the results that they wanted to achieve, boy, it was very, very productive. Over 90% success rates. And that's what it takes. All right, let me show you some really cool examples. How we operate here at Champion Circle is a very powerful and positive way to do this. All you have to do is report weekly, because each week you're going to set a goal. We use a simple form, and this is a copy of our form, not the real form. And I want to just show you how this works. I'm going to pull it up on my screen here and make sure I have the right thing. It would look like a Google form like this. This is pretty simple, okay? And in this accountability form, you're reminded that there's a value-based point system for everything you do. And of course, you're going to fill in your name just so that whoever's looking at this, AKA your coach, would know who's reporting. But when you see this, you'll get some points for identifying a few things, okay? What is your goal? And what, or a declaration that you made, and just type that in there. Let's just fill this out together, and I'll give you an example. Obviously, I'm going to fill out my first and last name just so that my coach knows who I am. Oops, that's not a fill out form. Let me drop that. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm going to view this. There we go. Okay, so this is what you would see. That was the back end of a sample form. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out my name. Woohoo! And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell everyone what my goal is. My goal is $20,000 selling my content creation software. Boom. All right. And in that, I've already learned that there are steps to take, whether it requires me to get on the phone every day, to send email marketing, to post on social media, to develop content and conversations. There's a list of things, but we won't get into that quite yet. Whatever my goal is, it's here, okay? Did you take immediate action towards achieving your goal? This means when I set the goal, I didn't just set it aside and say, okay, that's my goal, that's what I'm working towards, and I forgot to write one thing. So shame on me, somebody slapped my wrist. I forgot to say in 90 days. Thank you for the slap. That is my short timeline that I need to achieve this goal. All right, increase the size here so everyone can see. There we go, perfect. All right, in 90 days is what it says. All right, did you take immediate action? Meaning, what was the first step you took when you set this goal? Did you say, okay, I need to look at a calendar. I need to figure out when 90 days is up, okay? Did I call somebody to let them know, hey, I'm gonna achieve 20K in 3 months. Can you help me? Do you have any ideas? You start collaborating. Or maybe it's, all right, I got to follow up. I'm going to start an email with everybody that I connected with before so that I can make the sale. Boom, I need to do that. So if I did that, boom, yes. If I didn't do that, boom, no. And there's an in-between. But I think it's very important that you see that there's a point value associated with that, okay? Let's just pretend I took immediate action. And then an accountability partner. This is really important. You need to identify your accountability partner. Today, my accountability partner is Ian Surmer, the Great, and he's also the third. All right. With him, I am going to make sure I contact him. And then moving on, did you contact your accountability partner? These are questions that are vital to the process of achieving your goals. In order to achieve your goal, I'm going to say yes. I talk to him every week and we talk about stuff. That's great. Then I'm going to move on. Did you text the community Facebook group? Okay, so these are specific questions like, did you share with other people, is what it's really saying, what your achievements were and what you're doing. This is the community side of things. We have private groups that give you that reporting aspect. Share your wins and also express your losses. And I'll say, you know what? I did go on Facebook and I told everybody this week. I spoke at a university, which put me closer to my goal. All right, great. Moving on. Did you make progress in achieving the goal and that you made at the, so here again, this is telling, I just keep saying this is a Champion Circle one, but in general, for anyone who's not a member of Champion Circle yet, that this is a general format for you. But did you make progress in achieving your goal? I would say yes, but I'm not going to give myself a full percentage because I realized that I didn't take a giant leap forward. I took a step. So I'm going to give myself a half point there. All right. Did you attend any meetings that would have helped you to increase or improve your goals? Meaning, if you're in our coaching sessions, you should attend your coaching sessions. If you're in an accountability group, you should go to your accountability group. If you work in one of, if you go to your gym and you go to a spinning class or a yoga class, or you participate in any programs, you attending that is part of your goal or whatever it might be. So I'm going to say, you know what? I didn't go to my meeting last week, so I'm not going to give myself a score. Essentially, what happens here is when I submit that goal, all right, I got to put in a cool email. Let's go, John at johnkovachjr.com. Okay, boom, I'm going to submit that. Now, what that does is that generates a score, and you'll be emailed back a score. The way we operate here at Champion Circle is that we have put together a score system based on 200 points. So if you're doing some math here, anyone smart in the audience, you'll know that 90 days, approximately 3 months, divided by 200 points, okay, is somewhere along the lines of a weekly count between 12 and 15 points, depending on the survey, depending on the process, and depending on the quarter, because we change up our surveys. But what I want you to know is that we operate off of a system, and your 200 score is the highest score you can get. This is perfection. But let me talk to you about scoring. Let's talk about something that's a little bit interesting. This is definitely attainable, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take specialized knowledge, focus, and accountability in order to achieve that. The best and fastest and most robust way to achieve this high-level score of 200 is to use the irrefutable laws of high performance to completely transform your life and schedule to achieving your daily results and completely following suit. Now, a short-term goal for a long-term success is definitely worth the risk, definitely worth the sacrifice, and is definitely worth the time it's spent doing it. I totally believe in this system. But let's be real and honest. How many people have I worked with that have hit a 200 points? I can give you a big fat one. There's only been one out of the thousands. And there's something we learned about the one person, was that person was reporting wrong. They were not filling it out right. They didn't realize that this was all, they didn't realize and read the questions thoroughly. They were just zipping through them. And it's funny because we figured it out. They were always the first person to answer the questions and turn in their survey. But there was a good point to be made here, because whether you generate, let's just go to the middle section here, whether you generate a 200, a 110 score, or a 40 or a 50 score, which basically just means you forget the report or you're not doing anything towards your goals. Whatever you accumulate is going to give you feedback, and feedback is positive. It is important to understand that feedback is good. No matter what your score is, it is feedback. Because if I'm going to be a high performer and I'm somewhere in the 160 to 200 range, this means something. And here are your two options. It means I am very, very proficient in reporting, and I'm honest in how I'm achieving my goals, and I'm having a lot of success. But there are people who get high scores who do not achieve their goal or fall short, or even fall way short of their goal. And that's also feedback, because it tells us that either the daily and weekly goals and tasks that they needed to manage in order to achieve their goal were not on center. They were not on par. They weren't in line with what you were working towards. You've probably heard, it's a cheesy analogy, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. If you're familiar with sailing, like boat sailing out in the ocean or out on the lakes, okay, you have something called a rudder, okay? And this rudder, and I'm probably obliterating the real term, but it's a rudder. It's a rudder, it's a line. And you put the line down and you put it in the direction that you want to travel. And it steers as your anchor or the direction that you will go. But a lot of sailors will point their rudders in the direction they want to go, even though the wind is a certain way. The wind will catch the sails and pull them in that direction. And that is how you sail. But if you are just 1 degree off from the proper direction and points of access that you're working towards, you travel at least a couple miles and you will already be way off course. This is your straight line, and this is the line you ended up on. You're heading way off course and you've got miles to course correct. And that's happening in our goals too. If you're setting the wrong daily tasks, the wrong weekly things, then you are going to be way off course from the results you were hoping for. So again, 2 different types of results. Both are positive, both are great feedback, but both give you an idea of what to expect when generating a score. Let's say you're in the middle range here and you've got like a 130 or a 120. Again, we've categorized these categories to give you an idea of where you're at in the spectrum. Let's just pretend for a minute that I scored 130. I've labeled this as the talent level. What that means is you refer to innate ability and aptitude for particular skills or activities. The level of effort required to develop that talent can vary, but often requires a combination of natural ability and dedicated practice. This is an accurate representation of where someone might be if in their accountability, they're achieving, 60% of their goals. And this individual is reporting often. They're failing every now and then, maybe every other week, they're not achieving their goal. They lose track or lose sight of things, but they have little spurts, little sprints of activity and action, and they totally rely on their talent, skills, and abilities to do so. And that's a good, positive response. And by the way, no matter what your score is, these are all positive categories because, again, feedback is positive, but it might tell you more than you really know about yourself. And then also with this talent, I've included evaluation questions that are just really, really helpful to see. I'm going to center this so I can see it. This one in particular is how have you leveraged your innate talent to achieve your results, and what additional steps can you take to maximize your potential? These are great reflection questions to help you. Now, again, this is an example of what we do at Champion Circle, but let me unshare for a second and just look you guys in the eye and tell you it is vital. It is important. It is, the word I want to use is absolutely validating when you measure your success. This is a higher up, high performance way of measuring your success. Let me let my internet catch up for a second. All right, letting my internet catch up for a second, guys. All righty, right. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Ian, can you hear me? All right, awesome. All right, guys. Internet lagged for a second, but let's keep moving on. So it is vital to measure your success. Allow us to try it. 90 days, that is so powerful. But in 90 days, what can you achieve? If you were guaranteed that this process could guarantee you a 90% or higher success rate. And that's something that I will always stick to because, again, everyone's different. But I know I gave you an example of sales. Sales is important for most business owners and entrepreneurs. That's an important piece. But let's say you're not in Champion Circle for sales. Maybe you're here to grow your career. Maybe you're here to improve your relationships. Maybe it's not a money issue. Maybe it's an attitude issue or a behavior or a skill set challenge. Whatever it might be, the exact same process can be acquired. Now, again, I use the same exact process to evaluate high school students and train them and turn them into Olympic athletes. I've also used this process to help people make lots of money. I've also used this process to help people overcome what they would call their inner demons and to overcome any challenges that are preventing them from building valuable and lasting relationships. I've seen this in so many spectrums, and I can tell you that measurement associated with your accountability will accelerate your results. And Champion Circle is a perfect place to do this and play around with it, because now you can say whatever my score was, no matter what I achieve, if it's on the low end or the high end, I am getting feedback, which gives me two ideas or results. It either means this, my dogs are barking, guys, sorry about that. It either gives you an accurate representation of your effort and behavior, or it's a reminder that you have chosen to do daily and weekly activities that do not align with the overall achievement that you're working towards. So this is a vital and important power to accountability. Measurement is extremely important. Give me 2 seconds to shut my door so that my dogs quit barking at my neighbors. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're closing this training, but I would like to offer an opportunity to question and answer at this time. Does anyone have any questions? Or maybe I didn't cover an example that's relative or maybe resonates with you. Please, in the chat section right now, take the opportunity and share any questions or comments or ideas that you might have. And I can expound on them for a few minutes and share with you any ideas I would have. But as an expert accountability coach, I highly recommend that you take the 4 irrefutable laws of high performance and you use them as a way to achieve your goals and success quickly. Because again, guys, what's to lose? I mean, every single year we set goals and New Year's resolutions and so many other things that lead to maybe a desire we currently want or have. And those are so important to me. Your dreams are important to me. Why not plug them in and give it a try? 90 days, I will see different results always. And the results are always important, positive feedback. Anyone have any questions they'd like to ask or share? I'm going to scroll through the chat right now. Thank you, Sam, who said, we don't rise to our goals and dreams. We fall to the level of the system we are plugged into. I like that. That's a very powerful quote. All right. Any questions or thoughts anyone would like to share? And this is where, again, this is private. I won't disclose first and last names. I'll just share them because we will have this recorded. Let me know if you have any questions in regards to your goals. This is important. You guys, if I covered everything perfectly and you're walking away saying, wow, I'm ready, I can do this, then I did everything I needed to tonight. But I know that I've probably missed some things or covered things over or didn't go into detail about something that you are particularly interested in. So please let me know in the chat if you have any questions. I would love to continue to share just a few examples and ideas. But by the way, if you're curious, here at Champion Circle also, we do not share your score with anyone else. In fact, I hope you don't share your score with anyone else. Wait, John, what? Didn't you tell us that we need to have an accountability partner who we tell everything? I did tell you that, but your score is your own feedback. Your score is something that tells you where you're at in the process and knowing what you need to do. Something as easy as a conversation like, hey, Ian, this week I am really, really struggling to write, 1,000 words for my book. And, I could use your help. And Ian says, well, what do you need help with? And I said, well, my daily goals were to write an average of 300 words so that by the end of the week, I'm about at 1,000. Did I do my math right? 300 times 7. I don't think I did that right. Anyways, I'm really good at math, guys. And you're probably like, well, how's the guy who's really good at math doing our accountability scores? It's because it's all calculated. I didn't even do this. This is very, very smart people who helped me create this. And this was just a vision. So Ian would say, well, it sounds like you're putting a lot of pressure to do this every single day, but yet you don't have time every day. And I say, you're right. Yeah, I don't have time every day. So Ian suggests, well, maybe you should just, decrease the days and make it like Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday are when you write, and you're going to write straight for an hour. And that's going to help you, get it done. You're going to block it out. You save time because you're giving yourself more cognitive ability in the weeks, and you're saving your creative time for when your brain is ready to perform. So yeah, that's a great idea. So I give it a try. The next week, I have better results. I achieved a much higher percentage of my goals because I decreased the number of times and days that I would be writing, and I improved the quality of my energy for that session. There's an example of improvement because of the accountability and the conversations and the different examples that I could come up with to achieve that goal. That's just one of many. Maybe your goal is, I need to grow my marketing business. Okay, I want to grow my clientele. All right. And somewhere in your life, you've met people. Somewhere in your life, you've shook the hand of somebody. Somewhere in your life, you've walked into a business. And somewhere in your life, you've built relationships. I highly recommend the number one resource for growing your business is right here. Okay. This beautiful device right here. Many of us are too afraid to go in to our actual contacts and go through one by one messaging people. I know that's scary, talking to people out of the blue for things that maybe you wouldn't usually talk to them about. But I'm telling you, you have more resources than you know. Stop trying to recreate things and reinvent the wheel when you have contacts. But that's a tangent. I just want to get off that high horse and just say there are so many powerful things you can do. Let's say your goal is, I need to bring on at least 2 new clients every week. I know it's a low number, but let's just pretend for a minute. And the way that you're doing it is that you personally are marketing your business. Well, you go a week, you talk to your accountability partner, you say, I didn't get the 2 clients last week. In fact, I didn't get any. And I'm just going to make Ian the ultimate accountability partner tonight because it's just fun to call his name out. Ian says, well, what are you doing to get clients? And you say, every week I am posting content relative to those who are in need, addressing the pain points of those who need marketing services. Well, there's a dime a dozen marketers out there, so you got to set yourself apart, Ian says. But you look at this process and say, well, usually I can post something and somebody will click on my link and it'll lead them to a landing page where they sign up for a one-on-one consultation. And I usually pay for ads, or I usually don't pay for ads, whatever the circumstance might be. Ian suggests, well, maybe you should go to somebody who you already know. Don't have them, continue doing what you're doing. Maybe it's just a dry spell. Maybe in a week or two, you'll have, 10 people click the button and make their way to a consultation call. But while you're doing what you currently do, I think you need to invest time in connecting with people you already know. Talk about what you're doing. Maybe that's Ian's suggestion. So again, you go out and you try what Ian said, but you're still maintaining the level of confidence and competence of what you do usually. And you find out that you made 4 clients. And it's just a small tweak that is in alignment with the overall goal of achieving, let's say 90 is a lot. Let's say, 4 times 3, 12 clients in 3 months. Okay, there you go. I don't know what that means to anyone, but I just made it up. These are just examples of different businesses. I did say, and I mentioned that I would cover the conversation about employment. Let's say it's your goal to get a job or to get promoted within your company or position to receive more pay for the time you put in. If that's where you're at in your life, then that's amazing. If you're not achieving that goal, it is likely because of 2 things, and it's the accountability code. You're either in association and in alignment with what you say you're going to do each week to achieve that goal, or there is a lack of connection between what you're supposed to be doing to achieve that goal and what is actually being done. And so if it is, contacting new businesses, sending personalized emails, picking up the phone and talking to people, developing relationships, you need to make sure that is in alignment with achieving your goal. But if you're trying to change positions at your current employment, you need to be developing relationships with those who are in charge, those who are supervisors, and those who have the power to take you up there. I can promise you that if you just hope, pray, and wish that you will receive a promotion based off the merit of your work, I'm going to go to that 90% formula and say I can 90% guarantee that doesn't work anymore. We're in a different world. I just shared a story on a podcast about a job that I had, and I knew that a managerial position was becoming available. So before anyone could apply for the job, I sent a personalized email thanking my supervisors for just everything that they do. And I said, look, I am hopeful to improve our department by solving these problems. And I shared a few problems that our department was experiencing and how I would fix them. And immediately I got a call back from my supervisor after sending this email saying, how did you know we were going to open up a manager's position? And I said, honestly, I didn't know when. I knew somebody was leaving and there would be a vacancy, but I didn't know when. I just thought I'd let you guys know that I have solutions. And they said, well, we're opening up the position for manager. And I said, great. Well, how do I apply? And they said, no, I don't think you get it, John. Can you accept the job today? And that was a powerful way for me to share something that they were also finding as pain points and to provide a solution for it. That's one example. Let's say you're switching jobs. This is the last example, and then we'll open it up for any more questions, and then we'll move on. Somebody in the chat says, I really need to be doing this. Great, I love that. And if by needing to do this, meaning just reporting, absolutely, because it'll help you find and make sure the alignment of where you're heading is in congruence with what you're doing every week and every day. A lot of us stay busy, and a lot of us do busy work, but the busy work isn't serving us. I know personally by example and through experience this, because a man with ADHD can definitely attest that being busy feels really rewarding. But busy doesn't mean dollars. Busy doesn't always mean achievements. And busy doesn't mean success. Busy just means busy, and it fills up your time. But you can find validation in achievements and so much more. I'm going to recommend a few resources. I'm going to drop my book in the chat section, and we're going to close this out in just a few seconds here. But I want to just share that if you're looking to change jobs, then you need to be connecting with other people. You need to be sending out, personalized letters and emails and connections and even instant messengers through LinkedIn or Facebook or any other channel that the business that you're trying to apply for can answer. When you send personalized messages rather than the rote or automated generated ones that LinkedIn provides for you, then you stand out amongst other people. Because again, going back to this, you have specialized knowledge, and your knowledge is vital. So many of you are probably asking at this point, well, John, how do I know what I'm good at? How do I know what I have to offer to the world? What are my skill sets? And I can promise you a couple things. Your accountability partner is a perfect person to ask that question. Number two is that it's a very, very great opportunity for you to get involved with a coach, to learn more about your skill sets by having them interview you, learn more about you. And then last but not least is there's always something better to be done. A book that I love, and you guys are probably like, John, are you vegetarian? No, I'm not. A book I love is called How Not to Die by Dr. Greger. Dr. Greger is one of the foremost impressive and top-rated nutrition scientists in the world. And he talks about this principle called good, better, best. He's not asking you to completely abandon your love and passion for bacon like I love bacon, okay? But he does teach you the principles of doing something great. A great example of this is you go to a family dinner and they offer lasagna and salad, okay? A good choice is to put your lasagna on top of your salad just to make sure you have your salad. A better choice is to minimize the lasagna, increase the greens, and have more vegetables with your lasagna. And then the last one is make sure that there is, this is the best choice, make sure that lasagna is completely vegetarian or a very, very healthy option, that you have zero things that are going to affect your gut. And they're all things that are going to complement your health. And it is on a bed of amazing greens and carotenes and vitamins that you need to contain great energy and so forth. That's the good, better, best principles. It's a choice you make every single day. Whether you sit down at your computer and decide, I'm going to read every single email all day long and answer everything. A better choice would be, I'm going to dedicate 10 minutes to answering as many questions as I can, but doing so in a short way. And then the better choice is, I'm actually going to find more availability in my day and more productivity if I work towards answering these emails and getting myself an assistant or somebody who can answer emails for me so that I'm far more productive. Okay. It's all about the productivity and where you're at on that accountability chart. Here are my resources for you. Number one, I'm going to drop in the chat a copy of my ebook, championscircle.com. It's actually mychampionscircle.com. All right. Materials. It's there. And nope. Let me find it. It is right here. In the meantime, while I'm looking for this, does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask? Please put it in the chat right now. Okay. I'll go to, that's what it's gonna be. All right. Where'd you go? There it is. Found it. I'm gonna drop it in there. And if it's too big, I'm gonna tell you where to go to find it. There we go, PDF document. That's the one. All right, it is currently uploading. You guys can access that. That is an excerpt from my book, and this is the accountability process of the irrefutable laws of high performance. In here, you'll find a lot of great resources, worksheets, and things that will help you to achieve your goals. I also have examples, questions, and very similar surveys that you can use. Let me let my internet catch up again. Just letting my internet catch up, guys. Sorry about that. Running on all cylinders. My screen is completely frozen, but give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, great. Awesome. So I guess it's just computing because I'm uploading a heavy document. So that's number one. Number two is, again, if you want to continue to participate in our accountability program, looks like it's successfully uploaded. I am going to attach this survey, which at any time you can participate in. Let's see here, copy and shorten and boom, excellent. This is our accountability reporting form. If you see that in the chat, it is a great place to report. Now, often we send every Monday this form that will allow you to record your progress and share more. The questions do change week to week and month to month, but the score that is generated is still an accurate representation of where you're at in the process. So that is there as well. And then finally, if you would like to learn more about accountability in any other aspects, I want to invite everyone that is currently a member of Champion Circle to sign up for a coaching call with me. Now, I put my calendar in the chat section right now. Please do not sign up for tomorrow. I'm not prepared for tomorrow. But if you sign up for a quick 30-minute session in the next week or so, we can get a really, really detailed plan and focus on your goals in the next quarter. That is something that I offer to Champion Circle members, team members, and staff and volunteers. But if you are not yet a member, we invite you to join by just signing up on my calendar, and we'll talk more about it. So don't feel like you have to say yes to anything right now, but please, if you haven't taken advantage of your one-on-one accountability coaching call to work towards your goal, take advantage of that now. My calendar is in the chat section. Okie dokie. I'm going to stop my video and turn it back on, and here we are, good to go. Any last questions before we go? And if there is none, please send me a chat or let me know. But this has been another training and workshop to help you understand the process of accountability and why we do it. If you'd like to learn more about the irrefutable laws of high performance, you can go to speakerjohnkovachjr.com. speakerjohnkovachjr.com, where you can find some of my YouTube videos where I teach a in-depth training on the irrefutable laws. I give a TED Talk style speech and share lots of knowledge and information on those. You can find those there. And there's so many other more resources and great stuff. I believe in your dreams. In fact, let's close on this. Your dreams are important to me because I have been at the recipient's end of somebody else's dream. What do I mean by that? Somebody was not achieving their dream. Somebody in this world was neglecting their dreams, their goals, their potential, their everything. Somebody in this world was not doing what they were set out to do, and they were neglecting that. And as a result of their neglect, I suffered. And when that person finally figured it out, when they finally turned it on, I became a recipient of their talents, a contributor to their success. And I became someone who allowed them to achieve their goals so that I could further mine, and not just further it, but to achieve it at accelerated rates. I was a direct product and correlation of somebody else's dream. And because your dreams are important, there's always going to be someone out there who is waiting for you to step up and achieve your dreams so that you can influence them and kickstart their dreams. It is completely true. There's a domino effect to motivation. And in the Motivation Manifesto written by Brendon Burchard, which is also a lot of research I gained from the High Performance Habits, you will learn that the motivation domino is something that is applied by so many people who have success. And in our reporting process at Champion Circle, we ask you each week to share your successes with our community. That's part of the process. Create the dominoes for other people. And as a result of that, I too have struggled with some of my goals. But as I have strived to achieve them through my accountability partner, through my integrity, through my communities, and my personal mentors and coaches, I too have created dominoes, and I've seen other people achieve their goals as well. A great example of this in our membership is our dear friends, Lauren and Ty. Lauren and Ty were working on their business, and through accountability, leadership, and Champion Circle in and of itself, we helped them get excited for themselves and build their business together and exit their daytime jobs and focus on a life of bringing in whatever they merit. And that was a really cool relationship. And it's something I personally take to heart, because I know that your dreams are important to somebody else, just as important as they are to you. With that being said, guys, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining us. Somebody says, thanks, John. It's been great. I'm excited for accountability. Woo! Let's get some more accountability up in her. I'm so excited that you're all here, and I appreciate you. And as we in the chat section, if you have any questions about our resources, please ask there as well. In the meantime, I'm going to play some really fun and positive music, I meant. See you guys later.